faster than a speeding typewriter, more powerful than a printing press, able to speak over tall buildings in a single sound. Look, up on the dial!
It's a conservative!
It's a liberal! It's Supermouth! Yes, it's Supermouth, strange visitor from the past with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal talk show hosts. Supermouth, who can change the course of local politics, bend ears with his bare mouth, and who, disguised as Mike Wiley, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan radio show, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Good evening. This is Mike Wiley, evil radio talk show host, now evil podcaster. This is a special edition God message show. I have a bit of a background with messages from God and help from Him. The first one was in February of 2002 when I was supposed to get killed in a car accident or severely have the crap beat out of me. But it didn't happen. And I'd probably be in an insane asylum today if it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't alone in the car. My girlfriend at the time and future second wife was in the car when this happened. And what happened was I had just moved to Florida. I've been there for about 4 months, and I was taking a left turn to cross into a shopping area. And what I didn't recognize, because I'd never seen these before in this way, was, horizontal lights, like 6 of them, and the last one was a red arrow. And of course, I've never seen something like that before, so I looked up, didn't see it because I didn't know to turn this way to look. And so I took a left, and what happened was we were driving through two lanes of oncoming cars, driving pretty fast. And we just made it past the first car, but the last thing I remember is looking to my right and looking out my side mirror and seeing this car maybe about 5-6 feet from us. And my first thought was that it was going to kill my girlfriend, Donna. She's dead. She's dead. There's no way she's going to survive this crash. And then the next thing I know, we're in the parking lot. All I remember is, like a blackout situation where all of a sudden it's like, the next thing you know, you're like waking up, but you're in the parking lot. And all I remember is hearing the sound of the car that didn't hit us beeping its horn. I could hear the horn behind us. But, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And I looked at her and she looked at me, and we both recognized the fact that God had just saved us. So why did God save me? Or us, should I say? That I don't know. Then on July 13th, which was a Friday, 2012, I was supposed to die. I had an aortic aneurysm that was going to need emergency surgery. They actually put me under in a comatose state, I guess, for 24 hours so that nothing would happen. And then on that Friday, they put me into the operating room, and they performed open heart surgery on me to repair the aortic aneurysm. They'd called my kids to come out from Massachusetts because they didn't think I was going to survive the operation. Matter of fact, everyone was told that I wasn't going to survive the operation. They didn't tell me because I was already up. So what happens is that I wake up and I'm alive, and I survived, as you can see. And the interesting thing was that I was saved by an Islamic Muslim thoracic surgeon from Pakistan who was able to operate in like 4.5 hours on me, and I survived, and the Muslim saved my life. So then a couple years go by, I decide I'm leaving Florida, leaving Vegas because of the the Democrats had taken over the government there, and I don't live where Democrats rule. So I moved to Florida. And then actually I moved to Rhode Island, which was a mistake. And then I moved back to Vegas in 2017 to 2018. And I had, because of my aortic aneurysm situation, every 2 years I have to have a CAT scan taken. So I got a hold of a thoracic surgeon and went to see them, and they set up for the CAT scan to take a look to see how the aneurysm was doing. And it had grown like a half a centimeter every year. And he says, look, you got to get yourself a cardiologist. So I say, okay, I'll get myself a cardiologist. So I walk out the door, and I walk 15 feet to the elevator. I open up the elevator door, and I get inside, and there's a guy standing there right in the center of the elevator. And he was the head of cardiology at the hospital there. And he was a Muslim from Iran, and he became my cardiologist. And I said, yeah, I guess God wants you to be my cardiologist because I just found you, and I was just told 5 minutes ago to get myself a cardiologist, and there you are. He was fantastic. He put me on a group of medication that's kept my blood pressure normal to this day. Now, I've had high blood pressure ever since I was 4F'd out of the military in 1972, when my blood pressure was 160/80. No one really ever got the right mix of chemicals and pills and whatever prescriptions to get it controlled, but this gentleman was. So now I've been touched twice by Muslims. So I've had this connection with God. I've known about it. My Hebrew name, I'm Jewish, my Hebrew name is Menachem, and that's Hebrew for comforter. And that's what my parents named me, Menachem. And that means that as a comforter, you help people out. People come to you. And I've had that situation happen more than several times. And I've actually had several people tell me, I think God sent me to see you. So there's some connection going on. Well, today I got a message from God. And it was delivered by some Muslims. And I have that video I'm going to show you because it's very important that you see it, because I think God's message is that, A, the media is so controlled in this country that they're keeping the truth from us, that I guess everyone who's an American is voting for Trump, and everyone who's a left-wing Looney Tune is going to vote for Kamala, and that just ain't going to happen. And I feel that there's going to be a landslide now to epic proportions. And I was not in that mentality that there was going to be a landslide favorable to us, because I know history, Democrats don't like landslides. Just ask Richard Nixon. He made the mistake of having a landslide, and they impeached him on fake bullshit known as Watergate, which I've done a show on. Reagan won in a landslide in 1980, and what did they do 3 months later? They shot him, tried to kill him. So, Democrats just don't like to play fair. But their days are numbered, because all the people you're going to hear from today in a short video were Democrats. They're now Republicans. Some of them do not speak English when they're talking because they don't know how to speak English. But I didn't want to stop the realism of the message of these group of people who you could easily sit back and say, I wonder if this is what it was like when the Irish first came to the United States, and when the Jews and the Italians first came to the United States, when immigrants came to the United States to seek freedom, okay, to be able to enjoy their God and their religion, and have family to protect, and live in a country as great as the United States. And you may forget this stuff, but here's people reminding you why we live here and why it's important to protect it. And they're Somalis, and they're in Minnesota. And evidently, I guess they don't think too much about their governor, Tampon Tim, who the Democrats want to make vice president. He's a loser. Evidently, he's a loser. And it's possible that Trump will actually win the state of Minnesota, because if you see, Minnesota's all red. Oh, except this little area in here that has Democrats and 59,000 Somalis and other immigrants. And if they're in the same school system, they're probably all voting for Trump. I'm going to guess that Trump's going to take Minnesota based on what I've seen. And so I'm going to play this short video for you now. We'll have it up by this evening. And like I said, I wasn't planning on doing the show until after the election to see what happens. But I think it's important to let you see this so you understand the connection we have with God and the connection Muslims have with Jews and Christians with regard to the fact that we're all of the Abrahamic religions. And you hear that from them, and you hear what they have to say. And one of the key things, they all want peace in the Middle East. And they only believe that Donald Trump's going to do it. There'd be peace in the Middle East now if the Democrats didn't steal the election in 2020. So we've had to suffer with that. Hopefully, we will have legal factions take over and get what has to be done. You know, a good attorney general and a team of attorney generals going after all these people that are need to be criminally put away. So here's the video, and I hope you enjoy it. And I look forward to hopefully having, we're not going to know on Tuesday night if Trump wins. It's possible if it's going to be a landslide, they just may not be able to cover it, okay? And the reason why they want to have delays is so they know how many more fake ballots they need to process to win the election. And that's what they did in 2020. For some reason, somebody called up 6 states and told them to stop counting at the same time. And the reason was so that they could then drive vans up in Detroit and in Wisconsin to drop off 150 to 175,000 votes, of which 80 to 90% were for Biden, so that Biden would win Michigan and would win Wisconsin. And they also had some baloney with Pennsylvania as well. And now we see it's going on in Georgia, so we'll see what happens. But I think it's very important for you as an American and for you who may have lost faith in this country and maybe lost faith in God that he's ignoring us, and he's not. And you just, sometimes after a while, you learn to understand when God's giving you a message. And after a while, you know, that's just the way it is, okay? You know, I can say that I don't believe in God. I know he exists, so I don't have to believe in him. I know he exists. It's knowledgeable to me. Okay, and so that's the reason why I act the way I do. It's the reason why I try to do good on everything. And I also believe that it's important that I do what I'm doing now, which is to speak out. I wasn't given this gift of gab for nothing. Okay, you're never given anything for nothing. You have a power for a reason, and you need to use it. And also, I am a revolutionary. See, this is Hebrew for Maccabee. Maccabees was the family that in 165 BC had enough of the Syrian Greeks telling them that they couldn't keep their religious beliefs. And so they went up in the hills and they came down and they started guerrilla warfare. And after about 2 years of coming down and chewing up and chopping up the Assyrians into little tiny pieces, they said, that's enough, we're getting out of here. And it's a holiday in this country because it occurs usually around the time of Christmas, and it's called Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. But the media doesn't really want you to know that the basis for the holiday was because freedom-loving people stood up to fight criminal scumbag government. And that's why I'm a Maccabee, always will be a Maccabee, and I always will be a revolutionary, because freedom is important to me. I love you. Bye.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here today at the Minnesota State Capitol. My name is Salman Fiki, and I have the privilege of being your host for this significant gathering. Today, we come together to hear from key leaders within Minnesota's Muslim and Somali communities who will share their priorities and perspective as we approach the 2024 general election. This is a vital moment for us to address some of the critical issues affecting our community, from safety concerns to economic and educational challenges that impact our daily lives. Today's gathering reflects our commitment to unity and progress, and we are grateful to each one of you, media, community members, and leaders for being here. To start, we have the honor to hear from Faisal Dari, a dedicated leader in our community who will summarize some of the pressing issues that have brought us together today. Faisal will speak to the challenges of our community at this stage. Welcome, Faisal.
Thank you, Salman, and good morning again. My name is Faisal Dari, and we're here gathered today with the community leaders, business leaders, and youth leaders from the Somali community and from the Muslim community in Minnesota. And we're gathered here today to fully support and endorse President Trump and J.D. Vance. Some of the key issues of the community are the global wars, and we're for peace. Economic issues, family values and education are some of the critical issues that this community cares. On top of that, this community cares about the economic issues and the inflation. With all these and a number of other issues, the community came together and fully is standing behind President Donald J. Trump. Yes. Thank you so much, and God bless America. Thank you.
And now today, now we're welcoming to the stage Imam Tawakkal and Imam Tawakkal and Imam Duale, Abdurrazaq Duale, they will speak in Somali and
addressing the community.
Yes.
I'm talking directly for the Somali community. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Waxaynu ognahay community-ga Soomaalida in dhibaatooyinkana haysta hadday tahay xagga waxbarashada, hadday tahay xagga safety-ga, hadday tahay dhibaatooyinka community-gan Minnesota soo gaaraya. Waxaan ka doonaynaa community-ga Soomaalida waqtigii ay isbedeli lahaayeen, waqtigii ay ogaan lahaayeen, waqtigii dantooda ay raaci lahaayeen. Familyo nooma fiyoba, carruur iyo iskuulo nooma fiyoba. Dhan walbaba waxa weeye community-gan uu ka baaba'ay. Carruurteena iyo youth-keena drug bay u dhimanayaan. Dadkeena waaweynaa waxay u dhimanayaan nolol aanan ku wanaagsanayn. Waxay taana tusaysaa marka oo waqtigii aynu ku xisaabtami lahayn maxaa danteena ay ku jirtaa. Waxayna danteena ku jirtaa maanta marka aynu fiirinay xisbiga dimuqraadiga waqti dheer baynu naqaanay. Community-geena waxba uma aysan qaban. Maanta waa waqtigii aynu bedeli lahayn oo aynu dooran lahayn Donald Trump. Allahu Akbar. Ana ku hadlaya magaca muslimiinta khaasatan community-ga Soomaalida culumadoodii afkoodii ku hadlaya. Waxaynu dooranay, waxaynu ogaanay inay danteena ay ku jirto inaynu maanta janji aynu samayno aynu dooranno cidda aynu wax la qabsan karno.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Imam Abdurrazak. I come here today to give the endorsement to President Trump because the focus in our issue to end the war, also to make safety for our community, keeping our community safe, growing our economic, and also our family value and education. That's why we come here to make the endorsement to the President Trump as an imam, and also the Muslim community and the Somali, they are supporting the President Trump. maanta halkan waxaan u nimid inaanu taageerno madaxweynaha musharaxa madaxweynaha Donald Trump anagoo ku taageerayna arrimaha annagana khuseeya hadday tahay maaragtay safety-ga iyo nabadgelyada inuu ka shaqayn doono hadday tahay arrimaha immigration-ka oo dadka raba inay si sharci ah waddanka ku yimaadaan oo ku soo dhaweynayo madaxweynuhu arrimaha qoyska iyo waxbarashada oo family value-gana aan taagannahay ayaan ku taageersanay madaxweynaha iyo dhaqaalaha inuu horumariyo si shaqo badan loo helo marka community-ga muslimiinta iyo community-ga Soomaaliyeed waxaan ka codsanayaa doorashadan 3 casho ay ka dhiman tahay intaan codayn codkooda inay siiyaan madaxweyne Donald Trump.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. My name is Imam Abu Turab Abdurrahman Hashi. We are here to support President Donald Trump and his policy about how to make America great and safe.
And today, in front of my own community and the rest of our society, I'm telling you, I am no longer a Democrat. I have left that party. I have left that party, and I'm sticking to my conscience. I don't care what is politically expedient. I don't care what you look like, who you pray to. I'm a person of deep Muslim faith, Abrahamic religion. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. People who come from different communities and backgrounds. We're all the same. We live in a country where we should be working together, not hurting each other, not defaming each other. We should be protecting the rights of every person to speak. Because today, if I am supporting the censorship of a segment of this country, guess what? Tomorrow I will be censored too. And I don't want that for myself or for my family. And that's why it's surprising to say, you know, Trump is kind of an asshole, right? He says a lot of things. He's not the nicest person in the room. He's not going to sugarcoat things for you. But guess what? The 4 years he was president, nothing happened to me personally. I was safe. This community was safe. This country was safe. Yes, immigration changed in a way that I did not agree with, and I fought against it. And guess what? Change did happen, because in this country we have a system and a process where we have values and ideas brought to the table, and the people in this country gets to decide what is good for us. Trump is not going to agree with everything that I have to say, nor do I agree with everything he has to say, but I fundamentally believe he is the safest bet for our country moving forward. Our economy is in shambles. People cannot work, yet we're talking about awesome wage growth, awesome job numbers, and then months later we have those numbers detracted as falsehoods. We no longer hold truth to be sacred in this country. We have a media landscape where truth is now falsehood and falsehood is now truth. And I am not down with that. So for me, I'm going to continue to advocate for those who are sad, saying that I'm abandoning my party. Guess what? I did not abandon my party. My party abandoned me, and I'm not going to be party to that. And we're going to organize in this last couple of days to change the direction of this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. USA, 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 USA.
And now I'm welcoming Kevin, a Palestinian, Palestinian who want to share his views about the upcoming general election.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Albrock. I'm a first generation Palestinian American. I'm here today after being let down and trying to iterate what these great leaders just mentioned. I've been a lifelong Democrat. I noticed that my party is taking a turn to the worst. It started with the war in Ukraine. This is an unnecessary war. We completely destroyed that country, annihilated millions of people over nothing. And it transferred to the conflict in Palestine. Many things that we are single issue voter. We are not. We worry about the economy. We worry about education. We worry about public safety. We worry about homelessness in this country. We have many issues that we need to be addressed in this country, yet we're failing to address it. As an uncommitted delegate, I promised that I tried to work within my party, and I was ignored. Donald J. Trump is the only candidate that flat out said that I will stop this war. I believe that he will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Farther, Donald J. Trump, during Donald J. Trump, the economy was a lot better than what we have right now. We've been lied to on inflation rates, employment rates, education rates, housing rates. This is not acceptable. It's time to take a stand, time to make a change. I don't believe Kamala Harris is capable to do this. I don't believe that the Democratic Party as it stands is capable to steer this country towards where we need it to be. We're the #1 nation in the world. We have issues, we need to address them. I believe Donald J. Trump will take care of this. And if I may, I want to make a message in Arabic too. For a lot of people think that we're anti-Trump. We are not. There's many Palestinian Americans, many Muslim Americans that are voting for Trump as we speak.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
للكوميونتي تبعتي للمسلم وبالستينيان كوميونتي لأهل الفلسطينيين العرب الموجودين بأمريكا. Kamala Harris won't change anything. Kamala Harris won't bring peace upon our people. Kamala Harris is destroying this country, and she needs to be stopped. Please vote for Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is heartening. I've been a lifelong Republican, so Abshir, and I love Trump. We've always loved Trump. And the reason why is because he's a fighter. That's it. We like fighters. More importantly, the left left us. They left us. 33% of our kids at third grade cannot read at grade level. We went from the 6th to what, 19 now? In Minnesota in education? I mean, we are failing in every standard. 8th graders, 60% cannot do math at grade level. These are our kids. We talk about economic conditions here. Our conditions is horrible. We can't afford anything as working class and middle class people.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zainab Dahir, and I'm here to endorse President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. Like many of you, growing up in California, we were indoctrinated basically with the whole philosophy that, the Democrat Party was the party of the people, the party of working for the little guy, that kind of stuff. And so we all believed that narrative until we went down the rabbit hole, basically. So, my time volunteering and working with the House Republican, I have learned, door knocking for Republican candidates that, people are just frustrated at the doors. People just, as conservatives, what I've heard is like, people, they just want to basically, what they're caring about is basically, core American values, this idea about like, we want individual freedom, we want safety in our streets, we want good schools, we want drugs off our streets, we want our children and our women and our girls to be protected. Those are just common core American values that we're all really fighting for. And so what I've seen is, the Democrats, they have abandoned us. What they're focusing on is more socialist parties. They're kind of deviating from these ideologies. And what we really just want is everybody just wants to raise good families. They don't want to be taxed, everyone is just frustrated. And so I'm hoping, that by talking about this, it'll probably wake up a lot of people, because I was also, under this illusion that the Democrat Party was representing us until I really talked to people and I really understood the truth. And so I hope people use discernment to actually wake up to the truth and stuff. And so I'm just here to say, these common core American values is what made our nation so great. It's also what, our nation has been founded at, what our founding fathers were actually fighting for, this is a nation of law and order, and we should actually uphold those values. And so just please, for the sake of our country, right now, we're heading towards, we don't know what's going to happen to us, but please, for the sake of our country, just endorse President Donald Trump, and also, J.D. Vance. Thank you.